These are 15 forces driving tire prices and the entire tire industry to historic highs, creating a perfect storm that's hitting every driver's wallet harder than ever before. If you've bought tires recently, you've felt it. The sticker shock. The disbelief. Heather Brown, a 29-year-old single mother, had to take out a loan just to replace 2 tires on her SUV last November. She's not alone. Across America, drivers are discovering that what used to be a routine expense has become a genuine financial burden. The numbers tell the story. Tire prices have jumped 30% in just 1 year. You might walk into a tire shop expecting to pay $560 and walk out having spent over $800. Some manufacturers like Sumitomo have raised prices by 25% in a single announcement. Goodyear hiked consumer tire prices by 12%, commercial by 14%. Michelin followed with increases between 5 and 12%. Continental AG, one of the world's largest tire manufacturers, announced similar price adjustments across their product lines. But this isn't just about corporate greed or inflation eating away at everything we buy. The tire industry is experiencing something unprecedented, a convergence of forces that would challenge any manufacturing sector. From the rubber plantations of Southeast Asia to the carbon black facilities of Eastern Europe, every link in the tire supply chain is under pressure. Let's start with the foundation of every tire: natural rubber. The United States imports 100% of its natural rubber needs. We simply cannot grow rubber trees here. Our climate won't support them, much like coffee or cocoa. We're entirely dependent on Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia, countries that produce 84% of the world's natural rubber. And those plantations are in crisis. Rubber prices have jumped 72% in just 2 quarters. In Thailand, production fell 8%. Indonesia saw a 13% drop. Malaysia, the third largest producer, faced similar declines. Vietnam declined nearly 3%. The culprits? El Niño weather patterns that devastated growing regions, aging plantations that need replanting, a disease called leaf fall that's spreading through rubber farms, and perhaps most critically, worker shortages as younger generations abandon plantation work for city jobs. The Association of Natural Rubber Producing Countries, or ANRPC, has issued a stark warning. The global rubber shortage could persist until 2028, creating annual deficits of 600,000 to 800,000 tons. That's not a temporary supply hiccup. That's a fundamental restructuring of global rubber availability. But rubber is just one ingredient in the complex recipe that makes a tire. Natural rubber makes up only about 47% of tire composition. The rest comes from synthetic rubber, derived from petroleum products, which has seen its own price volatility. There's also carbon black, that soot-like substance that's been turning tires black for over a century. Most people think tires are naturally black. They're not. Rubber is actually off-white. Carbon black, derived from oil, coal, or gas, makes up 10 to 30% of every tire's weight. It's not just for color, it acts as a reinforcing agent that gives tires their strength and durability. Carbon black costs have doubled in recent years, driven by energy price volatility and supply chain disruptions. When Russia invaded Ukraine, it didn't just disrupt grain exports, it disrupted carbon black production and transportation. The substance might be obscure to most consumers, but it's absolutely essential to tire manufacturing. Then there's steel. Modern tires contain steel belts and wire reinforcements for stability and strength. Steel tariffs have skyrocketed from 25% to 95% in 2025. Every tire rolling off a production line now costs more because of these metal components. The tariff story goes far beyond steel. In 2025, tire tariffs have jumped to between 26 and 46%, depending on the country of origin. Since over 60% of tires sold in the United States are imported, this has massive pricing implications. Chinese tires face an effective tariff of 150%, 25% base plus 125% reciprocal tariff. Thailand faces 37% tariffs. Indonesia 32%. Vietnam 46%. India 26%. These aren't small adjustments, they're dramatic policy shifts that directly flow through to consumer prices. And here's the thing about tariffs. They're taxes paid by importers, who pass those costs directly to retailers, who pass them to consumers. There is no magical absorption of these costs by foreign governments. The tariff situation reveals a fundamental tension in American tire policy. We want to protect domestic manufacturing jobs, and there have been some successes. But we've also made tires more expensive for every American driver. Historical studies suggest that tire tariffs extract more than $1 billion annually from American households. The jobs created in tire manufacturing are often offset by job losses in the retail sector as consumers spend less on other goods. Meanwhile, domestic tire production is actually shrinking. Bridgestone just closed its Laverne, Tennessee plant, eliminating 700 jobs. Sumitomo shuttered its Tonawanda, New York facility. Goodyear is cutting 850 jobs at its Virginia plant. Even mid-tier manufacturers like Hankook are consolidating operations. The industry is consolidating and optimizing, often moving production to Mexico, where the USMCA trade agreement provides tariff-free access to U.S. markets. Mexico exported 24.6 million tires to the United States in 2023, valued at over $2 billion. After new manufacturing investments, Mexico's annual tire production capacity will exceed 100 million tires. It's a classic example of how trade policy can create unintended consequences. Trying to bring tire production back to America, we've accidentally encouraged it to move to Mexico. But even if we solved all the raw material and trade issues tomorrow, we'd still face the fundamental reality that tires themselves are changing. The vehicles they serve are getting heavier, more complex, and more demanding. Electric vehicles are reshaping tire requirements in expensive ways. A Tesla Model 3 weighs over 4,000 pounds, while a similar-sized Toyota Corolla weighs about 3,000 pounds. The new GMC Hummer EV weighs over 9,000 pounds, twice as much as a comparable gas-powered pickup truck. The Ford F-150 Lightning adds nearly 1,000 pounds over its gas counterpart. Heavier vehicles wear tires faster. Electric car tires wear 20% faster than those on gas-powered vehicles. EV-specific tires cost between $150 and $300 per tire, significantly more than conventional tires. They need specialized compounds to handle instant torque delivery. They require lower rolling resistance to maximize driving range. They need enhanced noise reduction, because there's no engine sound to mask road noise. All of this engineering and specialization costs money. Even conventional vehicles are driving up tire costs through wheel size inflation. 20-inch wheels are now common on sports sedans and SUVs. Some luxury vehicles come with 22 or even 24-inch wheels. Michelin now lists 432 different tire sizes on its website. Each size requires its own molds, testing, certification, and inventory management. This proliferation gives tire manufacturers significant pricing power. You can't just substitute a different size. The bigger the wheel, the more expensive the tire. It's not linear, it's exponential. Moving from 16-inch to 20-inch wheels can double tire replacement costs. And these large, low-profile tires are more susceptible to damage from potholes and road debris. Philip Kane, a former executive at Goodyear and Pirelli, puts it perfectly. Consumers don't really have a frame of reference on what a tire should cost, because you only buy them every few years. This infrequent purchase cycle means most people don't track tire prices the way they track gasoline or grocery prices. The sticker shock hits all at once. Tire shop owner Kate sees this reality daily. I'll have a customer tell me he bought a tire a year and a half ago, and the price has gone up at least 30%. They can't believe it. My guys on the counter see that every day. Major retailers like Tire Rack are reporting similar customer reactions as shoppers compare current prices to their previous purchases. The industry is also investing heavily in new technologies. Low rolling resistance compounds for fuel efficiency, run-flat tire capabilities that allow continued driving after punctures, smart tire sensors, sustainable materials to meet environmental regulations. All of this research and development gets built into tire prices. Looking ahead, experts predict tire prices will continue rising through the end of 2025. The rubber shortage could persist until 2028. Tariff negotiations remain uncertain. Supply chains are still recovering from pandemic disruptions. Factory closures are reducing domestic production capacity. For consumers, this creates a challenging new reality. The tire industry faces what economists call a perfect storm, multiple negative forces converging simultaneously. Raw material shortages, supply chain disruptions, trade policy changes, vehicle evolution, and regulatory pressures are all pushing prices higher at the same time. The humble tire, that black circle of rubber we barely think about until we need it, has become a symbol of how global supply chains, trade policies, and technological change intersect to affect everyday Americans. Every time you drive, you're riding on a product shaped by rubber plantations in Thailand, carbon black facilities in Europe, steel mills facing tariffs, and engineering centers developing tomorrow's mobility solutions. The tire industry's current transformation reflects broader changes in manufacturing, trade, and transportation. These aren't temporary price spikes, they represent a fundamental shift in what it costs to keep America rolling.